What up, Valtopia? Hey, honey, it's Val Cripps, and I am so excited to come live today. I love coming live every day, and every day I feel the value of my message, and today I feel really powerfully that one of you is going to hear this message and understand something about yourself that you've already decided, and this is just going to help you have the impetus to shift things in your life. And this message is coming through so powerfully for you today. And I'm excited to connect with you, whether it's live on the stream or during the playback. And I want you to follow your intuition and listen to what I have to say to you, okay? So today's live stream is about, let me pull up my title so I say it just the right way, how your gifts can and do allow you to collapse time, create cash infusions, and shift your reality. And today I'm gonna get personal. I like to share my story because I had such a level of belief and disbelief in my ability to shift my own life just a few years ago. And I've done it, and then I've helped other people do it time and again. And each one of us, no matter how gifted we are, can meet our doubtful self, our fearful self, the self that isn't in a place of trust. And that can come from where we are in our life situation. So I want to talk to you today, and I want to bring this message through. So let me share this so we can get a few more people on here. And if you're inspired by this, I want you to let me know. Hi, Trisha. And I want you to reach out. And if you don't want to reach out publicly on the live stream, fill out the application privately or private message me. Really, the essence of today's live stream is about how powerful you are and how much power and creativity you have to shift the dynamic of your own situation. And I'm going to share my own situation. So let me just share this to my page and we'll get started. And please do say hello if you're here. If you're new, I want to know. And I'm here to grow and shift with you. So let me paste this in here and start a watch party and we can get started. Okay. So let me turn this down. Okay. So I'm going to tell the story of my situation because whoever's watching this and whoever's meant to hear this message needs to know that you're not alone. So here I was a few years ago, and thank you for joining. If you're just joining, please do say hello. I'm telling my story authentically because I think sometimes people are so embedded in their own reality, they forget who they are. They forget who they are. And that's who I'm talking to today. And I want to remind you with my story, what it means to dig deep inside and decide whatever your current reality that really isn't working out for you is going to shift. It's going to shift. And so the situation I found myself in was I was married. I had 2 young children, and my ex-husband was at work all the time. And I was alone all the time with 2 young, highly sensory children. And back when I was having my kids and learning about sensory children, there wasn't as much information. I had food allergies, chemical allergies going on, behavioral response, skin response, my own guts were in a state of disarray. And the situation I found myself in was stressed out, exhausted, sick, overwhelmed, and unsupported. And I didn't really feel like there was any way out of it. I didn't know how to shift, and it just felt like that was my life, and I would better make the best of it. And so I did try and find my way out of it through nutrition. I pored over food blogs. I used to sit in the online forums when I was at work looking for solutions to my child's he would have a huge eczema response to my nursing, and it's all compounded. Everything starts in the gut. I learned so much about anxiety, behavior, the guts, what you eat, stress, DNA, genetics. I studied deeply all this stuff, and I really thought when I started walking away from my former career as a visual effects artist in feature film, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't work cubicle hours, production hours, unpredictable hours, and raise my 2 sensory boys. And my ex-husband couldn't be going and working all the hours he was working at the same time. And since I was the mom and I was home with my kids, I was the one that sacrificed my career to be present with my children. And I had to figure out something else. And how was I gonna support myself? And as I began to realize that the dynamic in my marriage wasn't going to be one that I wanted to carry forward, and I began to consider my options for myself, what was I going to do? I didn't have a job anymore in my old career, and I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from scratch in a whole new experience of building a company and trying to figure out, hi Susan, trying to figure out like how to move forward in my life. And at the time, looking at my circumstances, it seemed pretty impossible that I could move forward. Hey Sarah, it seemed pretty impossible. Everything seemed pretty impossible. And also what felt really true to me was that the circumstances I were in were beyond my control. I began to learn that that wasn't true at all. And that's what I want you, I think if you're watching me today and this live stream is for you, you already know that. You've already learned how much power you have. You've already decided the situation you're in where you feel like you don't have any time to take care of yourself, to be yourself, and to express yourself the way you need. If you watch yesterday's live stream, you'll understand who I'm speaking to. You have privilege and you have money, but you don't have freedom of expression because either you're in a partnership or a family that doesn't let you be yourself. And I posted a written article too. I've been following my guidance and delivering through what's coming through for me for those I'm meant to serve. Hi, Rayanne. And so in order for you to be able to truly be yourself and express your heart's passion and feel fulfilled and tune into your gifts and be who you are, you have to break some rules. You have to break some rules and offend some people and open up some boundaries you haven't been willing to before. And you're ready to do that. And you don't want to hurt your family. You don't want to hurt yourself. You're a nice person and you generally are a perfectionist and a people pleaser and a quite high achiever, thank you very much. And you're really not interested in disrupting all of that, but you gotta fucking move on from the situation you're in. That's where I was. You know, I didn't want to get a divorce and I didn't want to break up my children's family, and I lived 10 minutes from the beach in a nice house and we had property. Like, what was I doing busting up my whole life for personal freedom and to be able to pursue my gifts, which at the time I didn't even know I was gifted. I was just following, my gifts were art. I was an artist. And I thought in my business I would sell my art. And guess what? I believed in myself so much, so powerfully, that I believed back in beginning of 2016, that I could make $10,000 a month doing my artwork and energy work. And I began my vision and journey with that in mind. And guess what? Here we are, 2019. January isn't even over. I have my first client of the year. She's already paid me $5K in full. She's 7 times the return on her investment. Yes, she has. Within the first 3 days of doing the experience. And there's a combination of artwork and energy and mindset and life training that's happening. And the whole point of every experience I have with each and every one of you that book in with me is to support you in believing and backing yourself, because you do know deep inside of you what you're meant to do and who you're meant to be. So how can your gifts help you out of a tight squeeze? That's really the gist of this live stream and whoever I'm talking to that's meant to book in next. Rayanne's talking. Heck yes. Oh my God, this is a similar message you'll be giving your community. You're talking to yourself like, I'm no rebel for no reason. I'm going to bring this rebel attitude so my clients can express themselves. Well, and you know what, Rayanne? The rebel thing is really powerful in some ways. You want to ground the energy. And, you know, it's what I've been talking a lot about in my stream. We have this rebellious attitude. We have this desire to shift. And for the person I'm talking to that's meant to book in next, you know this about yourself and you've tried to break out of your environment and you've been checked. You've been checked, you've been corrected. Maybe your income, monthly stipend will be cut off if you speak your truth, or you express yourself how you want to truly be, or you start using tarot and oracle cards, or hi Keisha, or hi Nietzsche, expressing the art in the way you want to, or speaking your political views, or your health views, or all the important and powerful visions you have for your world and your life and what you're living. Something about your husband or your partner or your parents or whatever your situation is, you don't want to rock the boat, but you are ready to, because your throat feels like somebody's strangling you. Your solar plexus feels like somebody's stabbing you. Maybe you're overweight because you're hiding your true self. Maybe you're underweight because you're binging and purging to control the experience of being you, that you're not allowed to be you. That was me. I wasn't binging or purging. I had terrible IBS. I would eat and stuff down all my feelings because honestly it wasn't worth it. In the pressure cooker that was our lives, with my ex-husband working so many hours and not taking care of himself the way he needed to, there was no room to disrupt him with all of my stuff. And I'm a people pleaser, and I had learned to appease others, so I stuffed all myself down to keep everything working, and it was killing me. When I realized that and I started to set powerful intentions and believe in myself and invest in myself behind the scenes and what I needed to learn, which was about my own energy. It wasn't just about business or how to make funnels. None of that stuff worked at the time anyway. Or how to make my website, or how to get the perfect color on my paid webinar. All that stuff, I did that. And I did the spiritual work and the energy shifting. And that is what began to create a foundation of truth within me that led to self-confidence, commitment to my vision, expression of my vision beyond the limited view I began with when I started the journey and felt so much a victim of my circumstance. I'm in a completely different paradigm of living now. I'm a free agent other than my own obligation to being a citizen in this world and paying my bills and everything, which I'm doing through my work. I don't have anybody breathing over me. And a lot of the obligations and ties that I felt wouldn't let me grow, that were holding me back at the time, I've shifted through. Some of them lasted long after I was married. I'm a co-parent, 50-50. Don't you know that since I work from home, I'm the one who picked up the kids every day the first year, and I've still had to set powerful intentions and work around my boundaries and standards as a single mom and a professional person to honor my 50% custody with my ex. There's a lot of work to be done when we have a situation where the dynamic was different. You can move past and through the situation you're living in right now, where maybe you feel you've been powerless, or you haven't had the ability to create financial income on your own terms so that you could leave your current situation. You are able to. You've decided, and just because it has felt impossible and unreal in your current situation doesn't mean it is. Everything is based on your beliefs. And so when you come in and do this work with me, we're going to really look at your relationships in your life and where you're not honoring yourself and how you can shift the dynamic just within yourself. First, it's going to start right here and here. And that, you'll be so amazed at how much shifts from just the internal work. Then, of course, we have to align what's happening on the outside with all the internal shifts we made on the inside. And that is why we don't just do an activation and then leave you off to your own to experience quantum shifts rippling through your life and the declines that can happen, the shrinking that can happen when you expand, because you've had a traumatic life experience and it has been hard and you are learning to trust yourself. The glow up is a 6-week experience that allows you to experience quantum leap right away and again and learn to stabilize and calibrate to your own gifts and your own strengths. So how are your gifts going to help you out of your tight squeeze? Well, here's the thing. When you aren't tuned into your own expansive inspiration, when you aren't in a space of trust, when your heart rate isn't calm, you have a sense of fog and confusion that can delay your own ability to support yourself through whatever it is that's happening for you. And you can continue to recreate a negative dynamic in your life that's what you don't want. And so when you do this work to calm your central nervous system, to adapt yourself to leaving the situation you're in and growing beyond it, and feeling the strength within of your own inspiration and your own guidance and your own trust, you will find that people react differently, boundaries will shift, standards will shift, new things will begin happening in your life. And that is how your gifts are going to support you to transcend this current paradigm that's no longer available for you, that you're like, I don't want this anymore. I've decided to shift, Val, I'm ready, and I just don't know exactly how. How do I do this? That is what we're going to discuss on the sales call as you make it through the application. I want you to fill out the application on valtopia.com at valtopia.com and really answer the questions thoughtfully. I review each and every one individually. The fear that comes up in your body that previously has kept you where you are, or the dynamic in the relationships previously that has kept you where you are, you get to shift that in this work that we're doing together. You get to move beyond where you are right now because you've decided to. And you don't need a financial windfall first to experience this transformation. And in fact, you won't experience the transformation the same way if you wait around for a magical windfall, the lottery, or a sugar daddy, or an investment, or the business that you're trying to do on the side to grow. It's not going to happen that way. My client had a windfall and was waiting for that, and she decided not to wait for that windfall. And guess what? She made the money herself within the first 3 days, and then the windfall disappeared. And while all of her neighbors were lamenting the loss of this buyout that was supposed to happen, she was sitting pretty and feeling confident because she trusts herself. Is it all done? No, she continues to grow and expand and learn about herself and embody the being that is capable of creating and receiving cash infusions, new levels of clients, greater levels of visibility, and a new paradigm of being that's much different than the one she was living in when we came together, and there was a stagnation in her income, a weight issues, like different things going on in life that wasn't aligned to what she's shifting now that feels a lot better. More health, more wealth, more aligned clients. Her clients are lighting up. This work is available to you, and it does rely on you. This is not somebody else's program that you're going to try and do that's not going to work for you. This is a highly individualized, intimate experience that's about you, your patterns, what you've been doing, how you relate to your business, your life, your relationships, and how all of those patterns that you have relate to those relationships, and how you're deciding to shift them now. Not in a week, not in months, today. The work begins as soon as you invest. Literally as soon as you invest. That's the idea. So I know someone, whoever it is that's meant to see this today, I want you to reach out. Don't be tuned into any fear that you have. That fear is excitement. Let the excitement carry you to your gifts and your decision to support and back and believe in yourself. I did it when really my vision was quite ridiculous. I mean, the first thing I did was go to the beach and channel a coloring book. My current client, who's on my live stream right now, spent 21 days in a row coloring that coloring book and uncovered years of suppressed rage and pain, and began her alchemy and transformation to thousands of dollars through this $8 coloring book that you can get on Amazon. That coloring book was me following my passion and my gifts when I was going through a period where anybody else would have advised me to stash my money and start building a new career that was viable so I could pay my rent. I didn't do that. I followed my heart. I trusted myself. And who'd have thought that 4 years later, I do have the corporate client that I envisioned in 2016, 3 years later, that is making thousands of dollars from my coloring and my toning and my weird light language and my gifts, my weird ass gifts that I've spent the last few years thinking, maybe people don't understand. Maybe they don't know. But I showed up every day anyway, and have had hundreds of people transformed through my belief in myself when I felt like a victim and I was stuck forever and my life was over and I was really sick and fat and fucked up. So you can change anything. If I can do it, you can do it. I believe in you and you believe in you. Go fill out the application on Valtopia.com. Let's start shifting today. Keisha made thousands of dollars within hours of dropping the credit card. You can too. And then we're going to deal with that expansion and your freak out that you have from it and grow into. So that's today's message. And I'm streaming it through. It's a continuation of the guidance I got yesterday. So if this is you, go watch yesterday's streams, read all my posts, binge watch the last few days, and go to Valtopia.com and sign up. There's 2 spots in January, and it's $5K right now for 6 weeks. It's not going to be $5K soon, okay? This is the first time I've run the glow up, and my client is over 7 times her investment. She's lost weight. She's glowing. Her life is completely transformed. You can bet your ass I'm going to charge more for this experience after the next 2 book in, and I'm intending to book those in the next few days. So sign up and experience the transformation of your life. And let's continue working together and make those dollars like we intend to and serve the people we're meant to. And let's transcend this experience that doesn't align to who we are. Thank you, Rayanne. And for whoever's throat chakra is popping, I just cleared it. So it's as I burp, it'll clear. And your throat chakra is clearing too. And I am, well, I'll share about it next time, okay? So follow your intuition. It knows. Keisha's been opening up her intuition. Her clients are experiencing way more powerful results because she's opening up her gifts and taking care of herself like the boss that she is, and transforming and embodying the woman that she already was, but life circumstance was fooling her mind into thinking she wasn't allowed to be who she really is. Fuck yeah, you're allowed to be who you are. Thank you for being the goddess queen that you are. Right? Own your frequency. There's nobody like you. See you next time. Bye.